We'll fill out our scorecard on you.
I'm just thinking, how many times can you say you're having a day before it just becomes reality like this? It's not having a day. This is just what it is now.
This is just what it is. So I am now recording. So now you're all on that one as well. Hi, everybody. Welcome to what is the last a 10-minute lesson in our third series. For those who do not know me, my name is Alana Dunoff. My quick backstory, I've got about 30 years experience in facilities management, mostly as a strategic facilities planner and a project manager. For the past 18 years, I've also been an adjunct professor, currently teaching at Temple University in their facilities management department. I'm also a qualified instructor for both the Pro-FM and the IFMA FMP credentials. And I have Jim Myers here with me, partner in crime. He'll give a big wave there. Has been joining me on this will be our 15th 10-minute lesson as we sort of finish up this series. So today I'm going to talk about why I love the Balanced Scorecard, and we'll see how this one goes. Actually, I really do think it's an awesome tool, and hopefully you'll learn a little something along the way today. So here we go. So strategy, one of the things that most organizations and FM departments really struggle with and is really finding time for strategy. It's hard to spend the time to think about where we want to be and what does it look like, and to kind of be 30,000 feet up in the air when we spend so much of our time sort of putting out the fires on a daily basis. But it's important for us to be thinking about, where we're going to be in 5 years and in 2 years and who knows where else. Even one of the struggles I think we've even had recently is it's hard to plan for next week, right? Living in this pandemic world, it's really hard to know where we're going to be. And for me, I know the crystal ball is still really fuzzy. Yet as a strategic planner, I know how important it is to plan. We also know that organizations who do have strategic plans and then implement them successfully, they really have the recipe for success. And I think a balanced scorecard can help an organization take strategy and turn it into something really very tactical. So what is a balanced scorecard? Essentially, it's a business management tool that looks to take organizational strategy and tie it and align it with tactical plans. And one of the reasons why I love the Balanced Scorecard is because it's one tool, one process that brings both strategy and tactical together in one place. And for me, it kind of fits into my FM mindset, because I feel like in FM, every day we shift from strategy to tactical, thinking big to having to kind of be deep into the mud of the details. And being able to make that shift on a regular basis is part of our balancing act that we have to manage as well. And I think the Balanced Scorecard fits really well into that kind of idea. So here are a few other reasons also why I like the Balanced Scorecard. So the Balanced Scorecard is a document and is a process that's all about accountability. It helps your organization stay accountable to its strategy and to your mission, so that everybody knows exactly what we're doing and what we're looking for. It also allows you to be focused. It helps a team be focused, it helps the organization be focused on clear objectives and goals, so that everybody is sort of marching down the same path together. And then finally, balanced scorecards are also a real measurable tool. And I'm a big data person. I believe and know how important data is to inform our decisions. And so if we're going to take strategy and try to be accountable and focused on it, we need data, we need metrics to help us get there. And so what's cool about that Balanced Scorecard is it brings all of these really good management processes into one entity, which I think is really efficient and productive way to work. So how do we create a Balanced Scorecard? To begin with, it's all about starting with the organization strategy, because that's where organizations start at their core, is who they are, defined by their strategy and their vision. So if you go to an organization's About Us page, right, and you look at who they are, you will see that an organization has, written statements about their vision statement, their mission statement that says who they are as an organization, what they want to be, where they want to go, who they are to their stakeholders and their customers, what are they selling, what are they providing. Organizations create those things because that's what they want the public to know about them. Organizations also craft value statements. Value statements are the things that we care about sort of internally, like who we are as people. Organizations that create value statements or principle documents, these are the behaviors that compel us. They talk about our integrity or our customer focus, or our excellence in striving to reach a certain type, anything that we're doing really, any kind of excellence. So these are the behaviors that compel us. So it's about being good eggs in our organization and what matters to us. And the other thing that organizations' strategy is driven by is their culture. And this is sort of like what it feels to be in that particular world. What does it feel like to be in your company? There's a lot of talk these days about how culture is going to change in companies because so much of the organizations have been at home, right? And so will that change the organizational culture once we all come back to work? So with an organization's culture, organization's mission and vision and so on, this is where we start with a balanced scorecard, because this is what matters to an organization. This is the public facing of who they are. So when we're building strategy, we have to start here first, because this is the public facing of an organization. So as an example, I went looking for a company that I haven't looked for before. And so I found this great one from the Home Depot. So if you go to the About Us page at the Home Depot, you will find these terrific graphics all in one area that talks about who they are as an organization. So they talk about their values, and they've got a wheel there that's their 8 guiding principles about excellence for customer service and entrepreneurial spirit and respecting people and all these great values of who they are. And then they have this inverted pyramid that suggests that, you know what, customers are the most important, and then our people, our staff. And if we get the customer thing right and the people staff thing right, then everything else will set into place. And then the last piece, which is really interesting for me, is they have this idea, this concept of a 3-legged stool. And the 3-legged stool is really about their strategy. And there's 4 pieces to their 3-legged stool, which is sort of funny. So the first one is that they're all about customer experience and the customer. The second one is that they're all about what they call product authority, which is really about their knowledge workers, their people, and how they innovate and how they engage and how they are knowledgeable about their products and what they provide. The third one is about capital allocation, which is just a fancy word for saying how they use their money, right? How they use their money to be productive and efficient. And then the last one is what they call interconnected retail, which is really about their processes for shopping and selling. So if you look at this page and all this information that Home Depot provides, there are 4 things that they talk about. They talk about their customers, they talk about their people, they talk about their finances, and they talk about their processes. And as it turns out, if you go to any organization's About Us page, or if you go to your own company's About Us page, you will find out that every organization cares about 4 things. They care about their customers, they care about their finances, they care about their processes, and they care about their people. And these are what we call the 4 pillars or 4 perspectives of the Balanced Scorecard. Because every organization has to care about these things. They are the foundation of every organization. And they have to care about these things in harmony together. They have to care about them in balance, right? If an organization only cares about their finances and cuts costs and doesn't engage with and doesn't spend the money in the right way, they might cut corners and therefore lose customers. If an organization doesn't focus on their people, they might get high turnover and low productivity. Everything has to work in balance. So these 4 pillars become critical to the entire organization. These are the things that we have to care about. So we can take these ideas as sort of the foundation, and we can turn these into the beginnings of our strategy for our Balanced Scorecard. So let's take this idea of Home Depot and let's take that three-legged stool concept and start to sort of put this into a format that allows us to really look at strategy and then into tactical. So in this example, really sort of quick and simple, right? The one column has the pillars or the 4 perspectives. And now we have those 4 strategies. The capital allocation is aligned with the finance, customer experience with customer, and interconnected retail with process and product authority. So now we've started our balanced scorecard. And now we can start thinking about objectives. So objectives are the realization of our strategy. They are essentially like our tactical, they are the tactical plans. They are the things that help to say, we've got a strategy. Strategy is big. How do I make strategy be boots on the ground? I define objectives. I define real tactical ways that if I am successful in that objective, then I will have met the strategy. So, and I've totally made these up. This is completely sort of fictitious, but if you have the finance perspective and the strategies as capital allocation, then I could invest some dollars as an objective in optimizing my inventory system, maybe company-wide. Or I can invest in more training for my staff to make sure they continue to be knowledge workers and to have great product authority. So I can create these objectives that are associated with my strategy in order to really start to pull this together. And then I can take those objectives. And one of the cool things is I can take those objectives and I can measure them, right? We said how important measuring is for this tool. We measure what matters. We use data as a way to measure what we create. And so we can add in measures and metrics and targets to help us stay accountable and focused on achieving those objectives. And again, I just made all these up, but we can start to say, you know what, I can think about what it means to upgrade the POS systems in 50 stores a month. And I can start to get wrap my head around an idea of what it means to train 100 employees or to reduce inventory delays by 10% over a period of time. So now our strategy and our tactical plans are in place, but we have one more step to putting it all together. And that's what's called the sort of balanced scorecard dashboard. So this brings the whole thing together and manifests it where I've got my strategy, I've got my tactical objectives, I've got my metrics, and now I have data. Because over time, when I start to implement those objectives, those projects, those things to do to get things done, I start to see how I'm doing. And when I start to see how I'm doing, I know whether I am meeting my objectives. And if I'm meeting my objectives and I'm doing really well, it shows as green. And I know that if I'm meeting my objectives, I'm meeting my strategy. If it's yellow and I'm not doing so well or things are in progress mode, I know that there's an issue that I may have to deal with. And if it's red, then I know something's gone south. And this is where I'm going to spend my time and my effort going, wait a second, what happened? Why aren't folks happy? What's going on in that process that needs to be maybe revisited and allows me to focus my efforts and my time? So I love the balanced scorecard because in this one view, in this one perspective, I have a complete view of my strategy, of my tactical. It's accountable, it's measured, it keeps me focused, and it allows me to really move my organization forward. And you know what else? It's kind of simple. It doesn't have to be complicated. It doesn't have to be tons of data and tons of metrics to collect it, but I start to put it all together and I can really have this tool that allows me very quickly to see how we're doing as an organization and where I need to be headed. And that is why I love the balanced scorecard. And that is our 10-minute lesson, or maybe 11 or 12 minutes or something like that.
Thanks, Alana. You know, I got to say that I've never really used a balanced scorecard and read about it and studied it, of course. And I always sort of scratched my head and I said, oh, okay, I guess that's good for somebody. But I think you really did a nice job in kind of making it applicable and practical. Thank you.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I think it's a really cool tool and I've used it in lots of different applications. And I didn't get it at first either. And over the years, I've really come to hone it. So All right, so we're finished with our 10-minute lessons. We will come back with a fourth series. Jim and I are kind of working on what those next topics are. If you have any suggestions or things you do want us to talk about, you can certainly email me at Alana. It's long, afdfacilityplanning.com, or you've got my Gmail address also. You can use that as well. So I wanted to let you know to stay tuned for the next ones coming up. And then we also wanted to share with you that in just a couple weeks, we're kicking off our next Pro FM class. And so let's see, so we're planning to start on April 29th with our kickoff class. We're hoping to get early bird registration in by tomorrow. So if you are at all interested, I encourage you to get in there to get some early registration pricing. And I also we want to throw a little bonus out to our 10-minute lesson fans here. And if you do sign up for the class and use Pro FM 429 in the discount code, you get an extra special discount just for all of our 10-minute lesson folks as well. If you want to know more about it, please let me know as well. We love teaching this class and would love to have any of you who are ready to take a little bit of a deeper dive to join us. So that's all I have. Jim, do you have anything else you want to add?
Yeah, I just wanted to say about the classes, that's where we can really get into a deep dive of a lot of these topics and many, many more that integrate and really take your learning to another level. If you've liked these 10-minute classes, the real thing are the Pro FM classes that we're doing and starting in a couple of weeks. And that's what really, I think, puts it all together.
You get 10 minutes and then you're gonna have 2.5 hours of us. So thanks everybody for joining us. Let you get back to your day. Again, stay tuned for more 10-minute lessons. And of course, we'd love to have you in class, and we'll be in touch.